All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the stream. This is TTRPG. My name is Kelsey. I am the communications director for this wonderful channel, and we have a very awesome game for you today. So I'm going to pass it on over to our wonderful GM, Mike, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the game.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mike. My pronouns are they or he, and I'm the director moderator for this game today. We're going to be playing a powered by the apocalypse game called Madcap, recommended by one of our players, Morshadi, and it is an entirely cartoon powered by the apocalypse game, and it's for the zany rambunctiousness of a cast of cartoon characters who go on adventures and usually just engage in cartoon flavored capers, but for our game, A Tune to Die For, things are going to get a little bit more serious and a lot more real because A Tune to Die For takes place in the real world. Ooh, yes, in a fictional but no less real city called Bivdale in the American Anywhere. It's landlocked and it's the capital for animation in this fictional U.S. I'm joined in no particular order by our friends Kelsey. Hi, Kelsey. Howdy, howdy. Yes, please.
Yep, it did.
Hi, I was muted. This is my first time running tech. Thank you for your patience. It'll get better as the weeks go on. My character is named Sky Howard. They, them pronouns. They are the Smarty Pants playbook. They are a very short, human looking cartoon, often mistaken for a human child. Short, dark hair, wears, not helping with the childish factor, wears a, more shoddy, oh my goodness, wears a raincoat, very obviously picked from the kids section, with a hood that has little frog eyes. So the raincoat is a frog. Um, and finds it really entertaining when people mistake them for a child because then they can say things like fuck and the faces are really funny to watch. And their catchphrase is I'm older than you because despite looking like a human child, Sky is like 37. So that's my character.
Fabulous. Thank you very much. And we're also joined, of course, by Annie. Hi, Annie.
Hi, my name is Annie Oakley. Introducing our characters, right? I am playing Sally Sable. She is a somewhat known Toon, I would say probably B-list. She's had a lot of guest spots on other Toon shows, but you probably most know her from the very short-lived Sally Sable or Southwest Sally, where she played Southwest Sally up until her stylist disappeared and she was framed for that disappearance, but she was not guilty. After her show went off the air because it's canceled, she's just been, moving in the same circles trying to get her show restarted because, it's two in life. What else is she going to do? What else? Oh, she is a scrapper. Yep, that's right. She is a scrapper type, and she has a big bag of junk that she carries around with her at all times. Sometimes to a detriment because it does happen to get caught in doors or on handles, and sometimes comical ways. And yeah.
Thank you, Annie. Pleasure to meet Sally. And of course, we're also joined by Grishka. Hello.
Hi, I'm Grishka and Kiki, and I use she, her, and they, them pronouns. The conjunction is accurate because I use both kind of simultaneously, interchangeably. Um, I am going to be portraying Cyril Seda, who everyone present may know better as Cherry Soda, the kind of Leave It to Beaver, like Andy Griffith's son kind of character on a fairly popular 1960s and 1970s sitcom cartoon, the Soporific Sodas, which was about a bunch of Eastern Bloc rats trying to get used to living in this crazy country, America. And essentially, once he was old enough to get emancipated, he volunteered for the military to get out of his contract. Currently, he's in his mid 40s to 50s, depending on what the actual time period is for this. He's kind of over the whole like minor celebrity thing, but he does like the royalty checks, and is mostly known for doing like talk shows and sort of guest spot interviews these days. Has a bit of a following among the housewife 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock viewing crowd. So someone who you'd see on like Oprah or Maori giving like very pithy like comments to the young children who are coming up to test their paternity suspicions and that kind of thing.
Wow. Thank you very much. All right. And last but certainly not least, thank you, Morshadi, for joining us and portraying your character.
Hi, I'm Morshadi. You can find me on Twitter, mostly at at more_shoddy. Everywhere else, it's just Morshadi, because there's a person who has my name, Morshadi, on Twitter, and they've never used it for the last 20 years. I don't know, ever since Twitter has been, and they will eventually give it to me. I'm going to be portraying today Kip Hopperman. He is a cartoonish kangaroo. He wears light blue overalls and a short sleeve flannel shirt with a really jaunty little hat. And he has a curved, hard rubber sole on his tail. When he gets bored, he will just rock back and forth on it and just play with his pouch, pulling out lots and lots of things. And the reason that is because he just kind of forgets things. And a lot of it is because he just does. Because he's forgetful, his cartoon never took off. He couldn't remember his names. He couldn't his lines. He was never on cue, and he was always just trying to find snacks. They canceled his cartoon, and well, he never had anywhere to go, so he just lives at the studio, going from bedroom set to bedroom set. It's okay though, because everyone just kind of gives him jobs. And he just kind of goes around the city, and he's just the gopher of the city. So he knows everybody. Here's the thing. He also has an eidetic memory. So if you ask him specific questions, he will remember everything. But otherwise, he just doesn't. But everyone loves him. And I'll just toss this back to Michael.
Thank you, Morshadi. I'm very excited to meet Kip. And Kip will remember every livid detail of my face.
Who are you again?
No idea.
Oh, okay.
So, as I said at the top, we are in the semi-real fictional city of Bivdale. It's a cold, unseasonably cold morning in March. It's probably somewhere analogous to the mid 80s as far as technology. And in Bivdale, it is, as I said, the capital of animation in this fictionalized US. It was apocryphally founded by this infamous Johnny Appleseed of European wood etchings named Roy G. Biv. And he's generally held to be the grandpappy of cartoons in the US of this setting. And with the advent of film, later on, Bivdale became a haven for artists. And as the wealthy landed gentry took to having their games of one-upmanship, they took to, like their historical founder, Roy G. Biv, patronizing painters, singers, songwriters, thespians, playwrights, and most notably, and most important to this game, cartoonists and toons that have always sort of lived on the periphery of reality, but with this advent of creative power, Toonville came right up alongside the real world, and toons live and work and are amongst us. You can get around the city nowadays via its cable car system, the subway, or the elevated commuter train line. It's a city that in what's that? Ooh, I'm hearing noises. It's a city that's very insistent on being walkable. So the majority of the city has actually never been widened enough to allow for regular car traffic. And it thrives on its horrific market of tourism. There is a massive industry for tourism, cartoon guides, and going to the various neighborhoods of Bivdale. But as we focus in, we go into one of the smaller neighborhoods called Chapper's Corner. It's up on the north side of Bivdale, where Toons from Toonville and human folks have commingled for the last 30 odd years. And we focus on one particularly faded walk up, and it sports a sign, a nearly broken sign that says, "Wint Tingle, Private Eye." And as we focus in on it, the sign collides against the ground, and the front door opens, and a cartoon ostrich wearing a revealing cami and house coat comes out, takes a long drag on a cigarette, and tacks up a "For Rent" sign. And it's here in this house, hiding, that we look for our characters. Cyril, where are you in Wint's, the late Wint Tingle's home, and where are you hiding?
Well, I'm surprising everyone. I think I'm in the closet. I think Cyril is just kind of trying to like peek through one of the wooden slats and like the shutter door of the office closet, sort of in and amongst the 8 identical like olive drab trench coats, just doing everything in his power to stand still and be as skinny as possible and be mistaken for a stored coat rack right now, just in case and anyone's kind of weaving through trying to get a look at anything. I didn't describe Cyril before. Cyril's about 6'10", and looks like if folks remember Templeton the Rat from the Hanna-Barbera Charlotte's Web cartoon, it's like if Templeton the Rat and Goofy had a kid. Just a very lanky, long, exaggerated snout, like pointed nose, huge Coke bottle, horn-rimmed glasses, wild, like moosed, slick-backed hair, that's still like trying to like fight against the cementing, and is dressed kind of like a conservative 70s fashion plate, Fair Isle cardigan, polo golfing shirt, khakis, webbing belt, Oxford shoes, and gloves, like white standard rubber hose gloves.
All right, creeping in the closet of the late Wint Tingle with your working gloves on. Cyril, it is from your vantage point inside the slatted closet that you can see another one of our PCs creeping through Wint's office. Who do you want to throw it to?
I think it's Sally. Yeah.
So Sally, what you are presently tiptoeing through Wint's office. What do you look like? What are you doing?
Sally is trying to stay really low to the ground. She's a sable, so she's pretty small, but also to her advantage. Should anyone unexpectedly come passing by, her plan is to just like lay flat out on the floor, so like she blends in because she is a darker brown / black furred sable.
And at the worst,
yeah,
someone can just assume that a client left their stole on the ground.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly the hope should that situation arise in her mind. Um, she is currently sort of searching around the desk to see if there's any keys that she might need to find. So like looking underneath, also still trying to like stay hidden because she knows that people are going to be coming around.
All right. And it's through poking around the desk that you actually find our other friend, Sky. Sky, what drawer were you hiding in Wint's cartoonishly large desk? Before
So,
Sally.
if I may put my grimy little gremlin hands on the camera for a moment. Earlier, you may have seen outside the house, a passerby might have witnessed a rather round, very friend-shaped frog hopping up through the little rain puddles onto the porch and, wiggling their way into the cracked open door. And now we flash forward back to where we just were. Sally opens the bottom drawer of the desk, and the frog is sitting inside. They're stepping on a piece of paper, and they look up and just like big ol' ribbit. And then if Sally would be so kind as to close the drawer again, the whole desk begins to rattle just a little bit. The whole desk rattles, and then you open the drawer again, and there's just like this very small, human-sized, like child-sized raincoat that like kind of gets up and like stretches out, pops out of the drawer, and like steps up and looks at you, and was like, "I'm here on purpose. I have permission."
Okay.
So, Cyril, you see that take place in front of you from the closet.
Mhm.
Kip, how long have you been in the office chair on the scene throughout this whole exchange?
So I've been sitting there, just kind of sitting and just kind of spinning around with a giant pizza box and just kind of like having it flipped open, and I'm just kind of eating it because it's Wint would always order a weekly pizza from me, and it was always his favorite pizza, and it was pepperoni, pistachio ice cream, and anchovies. Always, every week, and he would always give me a slice. Oh, Wint. Oh, Wint. Why? Why are you gone?
The closet door
Mhm.
opens up, and like a single long arm comes out. It's like, "Is that my martini, Graham? Kip, do you have it for me?"
Oh, yes, I do. And he hops over, like, and he doesn't hop. This kangaroo doesn't hop. He just walks over, which is really weird because he just, and he digs in. Here you go.
Just kind of like lightly takes it by the stem, closes the closet, and then opens it up slightly more and says, "Oh, and by the way, I have to say, kid, your taste in princes is a little suspect. You might want to keep that under wraps." Close the door.
Get to the closet, though. Got it.
And he just kind of pushes his hat up and just, I don't understand, but all right.
It's because they're a frog, dear.
And
Okay.
our party thus assembled, you all hear the kerclunkety clunk footsteps of the landlady, Philomena the ostrich, who you're all familiar with. Wint's long-suffering, long-smoking cartoon ostrich landlady begin to kerthunkety thunk up the stairs toward his office, presumably.
I'm gonna go ahead and just like back into frog form. I'm just gonna hop around to a corner. I'm not gonna be noticed there right away. I'm chilling. I'm watching.
Kip, if
So-
she
so
asks,
are
I'm
you,
not
like-
here.
So are you like 3 foot tall, and then you just like, are you just a 3 foot tall frog?
No, just like a frog-sized frog. Just like
You're a frog-sized frog.
yeah,
'Cause
like you could like hold the frog.
Because I gotta tell you, Scott, you're already small. No one's noticing you as it is.
Just a very like disgruntled ribbit up at you and nothing else.
And Kip comes over. Well, you're very cute. And he holds out a hand.
I'm gonna hop into it, of course.
Oh. And he's just kind of walking around.
Not making any effort to be quiet. The rest of the assorted guests. Sally, is this situation bizarre to you at all?
A little bit, but also I feel like I had enough interactions with the detective to kind of expect this sort of thing. However, at the risk of being caught, is there like a coat rack in the room?
Oh, certainly. There's
Like a hat rack?
another one of the actually identical olive green trench coats slung over a coat rack with a Stetson that will never be worn again.
So as Kip is making a lot of noise, Sally's just going to scurry over to the coat rack and scurry up and sort of strategically drape herself over the top, like facing into the room so she can still like see what's happening, but also be as inconspicuous as possible.
It's at that moment that the door just very dramatically creaks open. Philomena doesn't even step into the room, just feathered hand wearing the house coat deposits a big brass key on a ring and just puts it on the coat rack. And quietly, you all hear say to herself, "He was such a big spender." Close the door, and the kerthunkety thunk of her clawed feet leaving the walk up.
I'm gonna hop off of Kip's hand onto the floor and turn back into a small person-shaped Sky. And I'm gonna grab the key and I'm gonna start like examining it, like looking at it really closely, trying to like dust off and see if there's like an engraving, like just examining it way too closely and trying to figure out like what it goes to and what it is.
Sure. Why don't you give us the first roll of the mood is casual right now, but why don't you just give us the first roll of the game?
All right.
Something sharp, perhaps.
Sharp. I can do that, and it's 2d6, right? That is a 13.
It's a good sign.
It is a great sign.
Okay, you can ask me three questions from that list, and I have to answer them.
Where is the list? I should definitely know where this is, but Oh, you know what? I have it in... it's in Google somewhere, right? It was a thing that was shared with us.
Yeah, it's in the Madcap folder.
Really quick. I'll drop it in chat for you, my friend. Oh my gosh, that's so long.
I'm actually on it if you just want me to read the questions out for you.
Yeah, please do.
That would be great.
So you can ask, what's my escape route? Who is the biggest threat? Who do I threaten the most? What's missing from here? Is there a trap here? Who's in charge here? How could I get the mood back to casual?
Okay. So I am gonna ask, what's missing from here?
Okay. So that first question, what's missing from here? You know Sky from your various interactions with the late detective Wint Tingle. His office is conspicuously neat today.
Oh. Okay.
And it is never clean. The only thing that remains is his red thread corkboard, pointing to various places all over the city.
Huh.
And a big red marker that sort of bled into the paper above the corkboard that says, "Who is the killer?" And there's all the various locations of the various Toon and real murders that have been taking place these last few weeks.
Okay.
Wint being perhaps the most recent victim of the killer. But what's missing? All his stuff. He was not a neat person.
Okay. Okay. So then the next question I want to ask is there a trap here?
You don't detect a trap, but you know, I will say this key, you're not familiar with it whatsoever.
Okay.
You've never seen it here. You've never seen him pull it out.
Okay. So it might not be Wint's key. Interesting. And then the last one I want to ask is who is in charge here?
I think you know, you've got your finger on the pulse of the murder investigation. Exactly. Squishy, squishy. Got the heart right in your hand. Wint was killed just a couple days ago, and the funeral service is already being held.
Naturally, that's why we're all here.
Right. The funeral is being held down the street at Gunthry's funeral home. Victor Gunthry, a human who caters to both Toon and real clientele. Philomena probably on her way to pay respects to her late tenant or to search for a new tenant. Who's in charge here? You know that the case was handed to Lieutenant Eugenia Ramirez. You're not familiar with her partner. You'd never met him, but you did see him. He was this sort of very young, probably barely 30s, white guy, clean cut, like a real haircut of a guy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And have I interacted with Lieutenant?
You could you tell me, Lieutenant Ramirez, what, if any, relationship do you have with the lieutenant?
That's a great question. I guess it would depend on how much time he spent with Wint and how much Wint would have told him about this grimy little smart, annoying helper that shows up every once in a while.
I don't think that in that case, throwing it back to me, I don't think you've ever met Eugenia. Okay. She definitely his last only friend in the police force, this woman.
Gotcha.
And you know that she's usually the one, even though she's homicide, usually the one that he's wrapping things up with when it came to a crime that needed evidence to be solved.
Okay, gotcha. So Wint,
but she's not present.
Wint probably trusted her.
Wint trusted her.
Okay.
For whatever that meant.
To an extent. She never trust anybody. Okay. All right. I think that was my third question.
That was your third question.
Okay.
Yeah. You have your beautiful mind palace.
My mind palace. I'm picturing several different doors that I've seen around any of the investigation sites that might be up on Wint's corkboard currently. And I'm like matching up, like I have that same picture there. I actually have that newspaper connected to that thing. And I'm like trying to picture like if the key would fit in them.
So I'm just blueprint schematics to see if a frog can fit through the mailbox.
All in my own little world. Just examining the key.
Just as that happens, like you just feel like this like hand just like on your shoulder that goes, I think this was yours. Just like this like slime just comes off your shoulder. Oh, hold on a second. Hey, Cyril, hold on. And like pulls out 3 notes. I got messages for you. Cyril, are you there?
Well, I suppose it is. I did say to hold all my calls. Opens up the closet. What do you got for me, Cap?
I got 3 messages for you.
Anything from the studios? If anything's from the studios, tell them no.
No, I got a message from I Am Bick, Crypt Keeping, and a C. Sheridan. You know them?
Huh.
Yeah, no, they said they said hi. They said hi from the chat.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Amazing.
A beautiful
yeah, I don't know. Here you go.
Cyril takes those and goes, oh my goodness, how am I still getting fan mail? It's been 20 years. 20 years and 2 wars.
You had a very popular A very popular show. I still watch it sometimes.
I had a very popular jail cell that had a glass bowl on the front of it that everyone could look at me through.
Look, I understand you have these problems with the show, but understand that there are lots of people who still watch this show. I go downtown and go to the TV store and I just watch it right there.
Sure. That's why I'm still getting the checks, if nothing else.
Like, at least you're still getting paid. I don't get paid by the studio.
You know, Kep, I've always wondered, and I feel that we kind of need to hash this out. Are you union or are you the scab? I've never truly understood which one you are. Because whichever one, you're the entirety of it. You're either the entire union for the couriers here, or you are the scab that, like, you know, took the union out of town. So which one are you?
Well, see, I don't understand. With cartoons, we can't get hurt, so I don't scab over.
I'd say never change, but I feel like I'd have to say that to a rock before I say that to you, Kip. Bless your soul.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Sally, from your vantage point up on the coat rack, which is conspicuously higher and taller than you knew Wint to be, you can see up on the top of Wint's desk, sort of in like atop this bread box looking mechanism that folds up and contained whatever writing paraphernalia he may have had. You see there's a gigantic, for its purpose at least, bottle, empty glass bottle, with a brush sort of loosely hanging out of it. And like all, I would say blood, all of the constituent liquid in your body freezes, because that's whiteout.
So I say to the rest of the group, I think we should take a look at that bottle, because if that is what I think it is, and usually not wrong, we've got a bit of a problem here.
I think Cyril opens up the door and has a look. He doesn't have to really like stand on tiptoes or whatever to look that high, and just takes a bit of a breath and goes, "Oh, I knew it." Well, I suppose Wint was getting tired and wanted to make sure that he won the tontine.
Wait, like, what do you mean whiteout? And I'm gonna roll under my naivete move.
Sure.
Let's see. That would be with no laughs, because we haven't gotten any laughs yet. That would be a 9. Let's see. So that would be suggest that a friend do something silly, ridiculous, or nonsensical. If they do it, they take +1 forward on a roll that has something to do with that. Of the three of you, which one of you would be you would say are the closest to me? Would it be, I think, maybe Cyril?
Probably.
Okay. Ooh. Is that what I think it is, Cyril?
Well, it's either Uzo or it's whiteout, and the only way I know how to do anything about it is take a drink. So, who's feeling lucky?
Oh, I don't know.
What if we didn't do that?
I don't know. Last time I had whiteout, it did not go well. I was on the toilet for weeks.
In small amounts, it definitely will cause intestinal distress in a Toon, but a bottle that large applied to a Toon would be enough to stain them on the ground forever.
It's true. But I don't think whiteout was invented when you were created. But I think so. I don't think it would actually hurt you, Cyril. Why don't you try it?
I'm only 53, Kip. I'm not from the Stone Age.
Well, that was before I was created, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, Cyril takes a look at this bottle of whiteout and I mean, I think it's established that Cyril wasn't here like looking for anything. Cyril happened to be here and realized, oh, I can't let anyone know I'm here. But like with what curiosity he'd have about Wint, is there anything that like Wint might have said to Cyril in the in the weeks prior to we'd established that they were essentially golfing buddies. They didn't know each other really professionally.
I think in the more recent past, Wint was growing more and more distant on your golf outings.
Mm.
And was certainly more distracted. He probably even missed the most recent one, but he definitely couldn't have been killed or kidnapped then because he was still at that wine function
Sure.
afterwards. So
Mm-hmm.
as far as a reference to Whiteout, you know that he wasn't certainly doing well, but you don't think that he would certainly take this.
He wouldn't think to erase himself.
He wouldn't think to erase himself. And that would take a Toon, first of all, forever to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't be easy.
Right. Or pleasant.
Or a pleasant experience. You would be devoted to the action. That is certainly not something that you think Wint, even at his lowest, which he's certainly been lower than you'd seen him even recently, would consider. The bottle was more his vice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in inspecting this. What if anything do you do with the bottle of Whiteout other than ruminate?
I think I'm trying to think of what would be like the proper move here. I think Cyril looks over to Sky and says, well, kid, you seem to be kind of invested in this. This give you any ideas?
Well, I mean, I'm embarrassed to say, like, I used to work this job where I would break down old props, cartoon props. I know we're supposed to keep them all, right? But this job was really good and it paid very well. They used to pay me in food. And
as opposed to any of the other legal tenders that you accept, Kip?
Wait, I mean, why else do you buy? You get paid. You have to eat to live, and I live at the studio. I have room and rent, so I just need food.
It's got a point.
Anyway, so they would pay me in food, and so I would break down. So I would use the whiteout and just break down everything and come down to the inks and oils, right? So I just then send it. So it is pretty dangerous stuff, but I guess we could take it and see if it's the same things, which would indicate my jack of all trades.
Sure, remind me what that does, please.
That is Jack and Jill of all trades. You've worked every kind of job there is. When you do something, make up a history of the job that you did and roll tough.
Go for it.
On a 10 plus, you do the job just like a pro. Yeah, as if you've done this for years. On a 7 to 9, you do this job, but not the right way.
Let's see.
So, my tough is a 1. So let's see. That would make it a 9. So,
okay.
all right. So let's see. All right. It's dangerous stuff. So hold on. Oh wait, I should probably wear gloves.
Hold on to what exactly?
Well, if you drop it, it tends to just kind of splatter.
I just take one healthy step
I do
back.
need some gloves though. Cyril, can I borrow your gloves?
Well, I suppose so, given circumstances. Cyril takes off his gloves, and of course there's an identical pair of the exact same size underneath them. And,
obviously.
He tosses them over and says, actually, if you could hold on for 1 second, and puts on one of the trench coats on the coat rack, and stands far back, thinks for a second, picks Sable up and goes, dear, I actually don't do this that often, if you believe it, and just kind of deposits her in his pocket for safety and protection.
Okay.
All right, Kip, you're gonna handle the bottle of whiteout, which you know to be deeply caustic to Toons.
Yep. So I put on Cyril's gloves, which I'm only like 5 foot, right? So the gloves fit really big on me. So it's like Mickey Mouse gloves on me, right? Like those like foam gloves, huge gloves. I'm like, ooh, oh, I see why you wear these. It's nice and warm. Okay. So I go to pick up the bottle, and I'm just like, oh, I got it. I got it. I got it, everyone. And I'm starting to splash little droplets everywhere.
Most of Wint's home is actually real, but the desk is Toon. And this unfortunate splashing is causing a violent dissolution of the desk, which it will stain the carpet irrevocably, unfortunately.
Careful, Kip. They don't make those anymore.
I just kind of like, that has evidence in it.
The table? I thought Wint's body was at the morgue.
That's not so much evidence as it is the object of our discontent, Kip. You do bring up a good point, though. This is quite a lot of whiteout. To get this legitimately, you have to be working at the studio. Maybe we should have a look over there.
Hey, Kip.
Yes.
What? Did Wint get any weird mail recently? Blank postcards, maybe? Notebook paper?
I mean, and then he gets this like, he like snaps into like,
Yes.
well, I did deliver this huge package to him. Oh, do you want me to roll for this?
I'm just going to tell you for the eidetic memory. He
Okay.
did get a massive package that might have contained this bottle. He did get a massive package labeled Vision Animations recently, like from the studio, some massive package that he got in the past few weeks that you just recall.
Do you think that box would still be around the premises?
Which package?
The big one. From the studio.
Oh, I have no idea.
The big package you just told us about.
About what
Dear,
package?
you have to be a little specific with him. He's a little bit like a semi truck, or he'll go exactly where you need to go. You just gotta point him in the right direction. Kip, the package from Visions Entertainment that you gave to Wint, did he usually break down his boxes immediately and put them in the garbage, or did he sort of leave them around willy-nilly?
Oh yeah, he would just tear them up and throw them away in the trash immediately, and then he starts gesticulating with his hand, and that like immediately just like sprays even more everywhere.
I take another step back, and
he would never recycle. I would tell him all the time, like, you got to recycle your stuff.
Wint just humorously like holds up one flap from the trench coat as it starts splashing around and goes, "Well, kids, I think we should head over to Vision Entertainment, and Kip, I think you can put that bottle down. Gently."
Oh. Okay. And then he starts stuffing it into his pouch.
Oh my god.
You put the cap back on, right?
No, he just like stuffs it in there.
Oh lord. All right, on over to the studio. I would like
That
to
works.
make a brief pit stop at the dumpster that would be by the house. I want to do a little dumpster diving.
As the four of you gather together and begin to descend Wint's apartment, walk upstairs.
I feel like
going to the
Kip
front
just
door.
distended just a little bit under the whiteout went into his pouch.
Yeah, like Kip briefly blinks out of reality, but he's fine. He's fine. Your stomach hurts a little bit, Kip, but more or less not any worse than the last time.
So I just want you to know the pouch that I use is my overalls pouch. I don't
Right.
use my actual pouch. That's gross. That's
That'd be
disgusting.
insane.
That would be insane.
Of course.
What's wrong with you people?
Sure, as a
Sure. And you're wearing real overalls, not Toon overalls, of course.
Exactly.
Don't be weird, everyone. Don't be, come on.
That'd be odd.
no, you know what? That's my bad.
Yeah.
As you are as you're all walking down the stairs, is there any general effort to tiptoe in this incredibly dark apartment, or no? We're just brazenly
I'm
leaving.
small. I don't make much noise.
I mean, Cyril and the landlady know each other
Yeah.
pretty well at this point. I think he, like whenever he passes by Cyril, just kind of like gives a nod, and a little wave, and says, "Sorry for your loss, Philly."
She's like dramatically blows her nose into a handkerchief.
He offers her a cigarette.
A lighter miraculously appears in her feathered hand. You're such a nice guy.
Oh, thanks. My mom said the same thing. That's
She, whether or not she knew the four of you were here, she was just standing in front of her first floor apartment door, goes back inside, and as you, Cyril, reach for the knob on the apartment, the mail flap flies open and a letter comes through.
I'm gonna grab it immediately. I want to look at it first.
Okay. It is addressed to this apartment. There is no return. There's no name. But there is a double postage on it.
Okay. All right, and that's just the envelope, or is it like a postcard?
It's just an envelope with something inside, you imagine.
Okay, I want to open the envelope.
That's against the law, dear.
I'm sorry. Do you
mind.
see an addressee name? It's just the address. We are currently inside the house at this address. That means it's addressed to us.
Clearly it's for nobody, and if nobody finds you, it's going to be a bit of an issue.
Nobody.
Well, if it's for nobody,
trouble
then nobody is gonna come find us. And I think it's addressed to us because we are currently, for however long, residing in this location at this address. So I'm gonna tear it open.
Okay, tear it open with your little Sky Howard letter opener.
Yes, it's
This
frog
was definitely
shaped.
branded merch.
It's
right?
frog
branded,
shaped,
yeah.
and the little sharp part that like cuts open the letter is where the tongue would be on the frog.
Bellissima. No notes. Slice it open, open it up, and it feels like legal stationery in thickness. There's no like letterhead on it or anything, but it's like a folded piece of paper that just you pull out.
Okay. So before
Carefully.
I unfold it, I'm gonna be very like to pick up on, the fact that it's like heavier legal paper and like where it came from. I'm just like give it a really good look, like hold it up to the light, run a finger along the edge, give it a sniff. Maybe lick the corner. Just very subtly and determine all of that information about the paper before I very slowly, carefully, without altering the creases, open the paper.
There's presently no danger, but giving it a sniff as the thing that identifies perhaps its provenance most to you is that it smells like chimney smoke. It smells like a particular kind of wood, but you can't quite place it in this moment. But
it doesn't appear to have any like smudging or smoke on it. It's just like clean paper.
It just smells bizarre.
Okay.
It's otherwise just a thick paper. You hold it up to the light, you can't see through it.
Okay.
You unfold it. In cartoonishly large cutout letters from several magazines.
Yes.
There's a message that simply says, "Let it go."
Did somebody flip to the wrong channel? Anybody else recognize this? And I turn it around. Love a good magazine thread. Don't get me wrong, but this doesn't feel like our brand.
Cyril kind of looks at it and has, his own, cigarette between his two fingers and says, "Well, Mother always keeps trying to get me to quit, but I think I'll hold on to this one for a little bit longer."
Kip comes over and just kind of like, "Yep, I knew it. And those letters came from Toon Beat," and just walks away.
Okay.
So, Vision Studios, I believe.
Dumpster? Pit stop? Anybody good for a little dumpster dive? It's better than brunch.
Definitely.
I do still have my dignity, dear.
You can scout out
Sally's
front.
gonna turn to Sky and say, "I know you've probably noticed this, but his entire place is so much cleaner than it normally is. You guys have noticed that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should definitely go to the dumpster because if his stuff isn't inside, it's got to be out there. If it's not out there, at the risk of sound like a broken record, we've got a bigger problem."
Right, his garbage gets picked up on Thursdays. So if it's gone, it shouldn't be gone. It wasn't the company that came to pick it up if it's gone.
All right. Into the unseasonably cold weather behind the home, you are all standing in front of Wint Tingle's garbage. There's a dumpster for like this sort of half block, and there's his individual cans that he used to keep closer to the door. But there was nothing in the cans other than some empty, quite a few empty beer bottles.
Okay.
But you are all in front of the dumpster. The mood is still casual, no clear danger. There's people milling about. As I said, though, rather cold outside. But you're all here. Sky Howard, are you getting in there?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna like turn to Kip, be like, hey, can I get a lift? You know, to like get a step up.
Are you still Frog, or are you?
I'm still small person size.
Okay. Okay, ready. And he just kind of just.
I'm gonna step up and I'll hop on in over the dumpster onto the inside.
I was just trying to wave away any passersby. Oh no, sorry, the kid lost their yo-yo in the garbage.
There's quite a few people. There's somebody with like a double stroller goes, keeps pushing by.
Muttering to myself, I have never once lost my yo-yo.
Wait, Sky, you lost your yo-yo? Hold on a second.
I didn't lose.
There you go.
I got this yo-yo. Oh wait, hold on.
Thanks.
I got this other type of yo-yo. It's the trick kind of yo-yo. If you need this one lights up. You want to light up yo-yo?
And I'm just gonna continue like digging through inside the dumpster. I'm gonna let Kip continually pull out various colored rainbow yo-yos.
There are a ton of small bags in here. Not to mention yo-yos in Kip's pouch.
Okay.
There, it looks like the garbage is probably still here from the last week. So good pickup on that.
Okay.
Do you just start cutting into bags with your letter opener? Or?
Yes. I want to open them in a way they're not just gonna like spill out everywhere. And I'm gonna I have in my raincoat pockets ready at hand little evidence bags that I can pull out. Just like an infinite amount. Little evidence bags that I can collect stuff in.
I think that the thing here is time. Do you all take the time to let Sky do this?
I mean, I think Cyril's going to run interference, as much as he can, but he's trying to keep on the lookout and make sure that we're not attracting attention. That anyone who looks kind of consternated that we're doing this is heading towards us. So yeah, like as long as no one's coming for us, Cheryl will mostly just sorry, the dumpster owes my friend money.
Not an uncommon complaint.
That's true. There are lots of dumpsters that owe me money, and lots of rats that live in the dumpsters that owe me money too.
I think it's a good 15-20 minutes, Sky, before you happen on what you believe to be Wint's garbage bags. You've carefully the neatest dumpster perhaps in Bivdale at this point. You have now carefully ordered. You think, okay, this is the garbage from that apartment. This is the garbage from that apartment. This is Wint's stuff. There is one bag of garbage here that you think belongs to Wint Tingle.
Okay.
And there's no way it contains everything that belonged to him.
Right. Okay. What is it?
You do pop it open. There are a ton of receipts for the racetrack.
Okay.
There are quite a few late notices about utilities. And the one other thing of note that you find are strangely blueprints to the first floor of a building in Little Sketch, which is a neighborhood where the bad Toons live. And you only know this because of the street address associated with the first floor of this blueprint. You go, I know where this building is.
Where's the building? Oh,
This
just in the
building is it's the old Abernathy mansion, which is usually during the day filmed on location for like horror tunes. At night, nobody goes into the old Abernathy mansion.
Yet.
Does Cyril know if Vision is filming anything at the Abernathy mansion right now, like on the like this season?
This season at the Abernathy mansion was actually being fitted by GLG Entertainment, Vision's like greatest competitor.
Interesting.
So GLG is actually filming on location at the old Abernathy place during the day. But you do know you've been here a while in Bivdale. You know that place has an associate has as long as you've lived in Bivdale has had the association of being violently haunted.
Hmm.
So I bag all that stuff into my little evidence bags, and I write
Yes.
like very extensive like notes on the outside of the bag with my little appropriately sized. It's not a normal size Sharpie. It looks like a normal size Sharpie in Sky's hand, but it's actually like one of the mini ones. And his writing like the date that it was found, the time that it was found, the bag it was found in, the condition it was in, like just like extensive notes on like all like if there was a rip or a tear in something or other.
Sally and Cyril, the two of you probably on lookout duty. You do notice down the street you can see Guthrie's funeral services. There is in front of them very clearly in an unmarked car, there are two police officers exchanging some sort of banter that you obviously can't hear in front of like a very small town car, like one of the only vehicles that's really sized to drive around this part of the city. And they're just in front of Guthrie's funeral services smoking. But obvious to you that they're cops.
You know, how is it that a cop can even make small talk look threatening?
No kidding. I
You
wonder
think
why
we
they're not in the service though. Like, you know, he was a detective. Shouldn't they be in there paying their respects?
Well, I don't know anything about that, but they definitely are not here for it, which makes me think that they have their own reasons to be here, pretending to be off duty. Maybe we should see if we can get anything.
You want to go talk to them?
Well, I was thinking you could go talk to them.
Oh.
I still have this cigarette to finish. You know how it is.
And your cigarette just hasn't
No.
gone down at all. It's like
It's
it's
those
a
two
forever
cigarettes do not run out.
Well, I guess I could go put on the charm. So Sal's gonna
sure.
go.
Ask them if they have any work, dear. I haven't seen you on the screen in a bit.
Gonna scurry over to the con.
Not at all intimating that anything could possibly happen. The mood will move from casual to dicey. Sally, you scramble down. Are you like a sized of a sable, or are you like a regular human sized sable?
I would say not like in between, like not full size, full human size, but also not like literally this big.
Are you taller than Sky Howard?
Yes.
Okay, hysterical. They're just a little person. I
Just-
love them.
Just a
They
little
have
guy.
small energy.
Just
A
a
little guy.
Just a little guy.
I do think it's funny that we have all of these kind of diminutive tunes of, like varying levels of below average height, and then we have like Cyril, who's like tall for even a basketball player, who's
Just
kind
horrifying.
of wading through
Jack
the
Skeleton.
underbrush of children.
Clearly, you
Totally
are everyone's dad.
inconspicuous.
So, Sally, what is your intention in this moment? To just be walking by and to surreptitiously hear something, to engage with them directly?
My intention is to just sort of potentially eavesdrop, see, hear what I can hear, because Sally is not too fond of cops. They did not treat her particularly nice when she was accused of murder, so she would rather not actually interact with them, but she does want to see if she can get some information.
That's sounding like plus sharp to me. You're trying to get some information,
Okay.
discern truths from the world.
Oh, so you need me to roll?
Yes, I do. The
Okay.
situation is dicey.
Also, Cyril's like keeping an eye out for
Of course.
Sally, making sure that like nothing's coming around, or the cops aren't trying anything where she can't see it.
What do we get,
was
my
an
friends?
8.
Okay. Mixed success. You can ask me one question from that list. What's my escape route? Who is the biggest threat? Who do I threaten most? What's missing? Is there a trap? Who's in charge? And how do I get the mood back to casual? Or another appropriate question that may occur to you.
I guess what is what is off about these cops? Like, does it seem, why are they standing out here and not going inside?
There is a like a maybe a 30-year-old haircut of a guy who you may recognize, named Detective Giggs. He didn't work your case, but the woman who's present here, clearly the lead, did. She is homicide detective Eugenia Ramirez. You recognize her, but she is clearly off duty, not dressed very casually. The little car that they have is not from the station. But it's obvious to you that they're cops because they're carrying, and you recognize the two of them. Eugenia Ramirez looks like she's been crying. And they are, she like absent-mindedly ashes her cigarette into Stephen Giggs's coffee while he's gesturing with it. And as you walk by, you don't hear anything, but you do catch with your side eye. You clock that Eugenia is out of character, was very recently emotional.
Interesting. Do I have the option to approach them now?
You could, certainly.
Okay, so feeling like they're, a little bit less of a threat, I am going to approach Detective Ramirez and, just offer my condolences and say, I know you guys were pretty close. I'm sorry for your loss.
Detective Giggs sort of eyes you up and down. Frankly, you recognize, you know this look. He has no idea who you are. He just goes, okay, random Toon talking to Lieutenant Ramirez, whatever. Ramirez takes another drag from her cigarette, not one of the Toon ones. It's like about to. It's mostly ash, and she sort of looks at you, tosses it on the ground. Thanks for that, Sable. That's big of you.
I think Cyril, like calls out from across the street. Yeah, no hard feelings, right?
Yo.
Just waves his cigarette over at Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez regards you, neither hotly nor coolly. But just that stone face you're used to. Clearly trying to button up because you caught her, Sally. You caught her with the walls down, and she doesn't like that.
So before she sort of like composes herself, do I notice anything now that I'm like closer to her, like on her person, besides like her gun or anything?
On her person, it looks like she. Probably not on her person. In the car, if you look past her, you can see there's flowers that haven't moved, but they're fresh. Clearly, like just bought because there's like still a little bit of dew on them. Like the flower shop owner probably sprayed before she picked them up. So there's like there's chrysanthemums in the back.
Okay, I will just sort of silently take my leave and do a like circle around and walk back to the group.
Sure. You doing that coyly, or are you just directly walking back towards Cyril and the group?
Coyly, trying to like, you know.
Give me a plus cool really quick.
10.
Okay. Probably not even clocking that you didn't come out of the funeral home. You just walk away from the cops, you double back around a half block, and nobody interferes with you.
Awesome.
I feel like the entire time Ramirez and Cyril have just been kind of smoking and looking at each other from across the street.
There is a there's a not comfortable amount of glances that she shares with you. And Giggs, who you've never met, Cyril, you have no idea who this haircut is. He goes, he's just like really at a loss between like what's happening here. Before eventually you see him like kind of just very respectfully, very lightly taps her, and she reaches into the car, grabs the flowers, and goes into the funeral home.
Yeah. Sarah, you just kind of see him curl his lips slightly. It's like pigs. Like looks over and like over his shoulder and says, "Are you finished here?"
Yeah, this has happened in that time, Sky.
Well, I only ask because it's been 10 minutes and, we have a bit of a window where the cops aren't looking at us. All right, just wait for Sally to get back and...
Sorry, I was muted on the stream. So everybody can hear that again. Sky called from the dumpster. Give me just 1 second, and then Star spotted, and literally 1 Mississippi later, Sky jumps out in frog form, turns back into Sky, and is like, "Let's go."
All right, with Sally.
Kip, who's also in the dumpster with you. Oh, did you find your yo-yo? And he's just surrounded with yo-yo and strings.
I was literally gonna say like with 20 different yo-yos.
And he's just like scooting along in like a cocoon of yo-yo strings, just
and
kind of pushing with his legs.
And I look at you,
like
and I kind of give you like an up and down, like taking in all the yo-yos, and I see one that's like, it's particularly sparkly, and I just think it's fun, so I just like take that one from the bunch, and I leave you with the tangle of all the rest.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you found one. All right, hold on a second. And then just does that cartoon like spin around in a dust cloud and stuffs one last yo-yo back in his pocket. And just kind of follows you.
All right. As the party heads toward Roy G. Biv Boulevard, where the studios are off of, you're heading toward Vision Animation, and of course GLG Entertainment at the opposite side of the boulevard. So you're heading toward the west side where the money is. And as the party, perhaps I gather from the natures expressed here thus far, perhaps doesn't pay for the cable car, gets onto the cable car by various means, and starts heading down the boulevard. And in the background, we just hear a revved motorcycle, and we see a silhouette of a vague, not a vague, a very muscular, about 5'10" human shape, but clearly a Toon biker on a real bike motorcycle. And we just see like the silhouette of the neck and shoulders of this muscular Toon biker who, even though it's cold out, has like just a denim vest on. And we hear, and we're gonna take a break right here as we head toward Vision Animations.
Yay.
Hello and welcome back to A Tune to Die For, Episode 1, The Empty Bottle. Our googly gaggly gang of cartoon characters just recently did a little bit of light B&E, then a little bit of broke the federal law by opening mail, and then violated a lot of personal privacy laws by going through
It
garbage.
it was addressed to all of us.
I would like to
Well, I mean, it
say
was
we
addressed to
didn't break.
nobody again.
We didn't break and enter. Okay, the place is for rent.
It's true.
The land will let us in. Okay, we were just like taking a look.
Yeah. After briefly interacting with some police officers that each of the PCs are familiar with, and following up on some evidence gathered in the late Wint Tingle's office and home, they decided to follow the trail that an empty bottle of whiteout, a caustic material to tunes, um, directed them, based on the recollection of Kip Hopperman, our resident gopher, who's actually a kangaroo, recalls was shipped to Wint from Vision Animations. And based on that information, our investigators now make their way to Vision Animations, riding a cable car down the main thoroughfare of Bivdale, down Roy G. Biv Boulevard, and arriving none the worse on this cold March afternoon in front of the marble gates of Vision Animations. The thing that stands out most, perhaps, other than the large gorilla cartoon security guards, are the no fewer than 6 or 7 dozen picketing actors, human actors, standing outside Vision Animations, picketing and demanding the right to work, and that the animation studio acquiesce to the demands of the Actors Guild. And thus far, it's been happening, of course, for weeks now, but tunes are crossing that picket line, and even other human actors, unfortunately, crossing that picket line to work for Vision Animations for a lot cheaper than the union. And there have been quite a few non-pleasant interactions between studio security and the picketers, as well as, not to mention, the police. But the picket line not as noisy as it usually is, still early in the afternoon. The four of you are in front of Vision Animations, the picket line all around the gate, but not in front of it. And a cordon of cartoon guerrilla guards has made it very clear that the union is not to obstruct its talent.
Question: what is the general mood from the human actors toward cartoons? Is
The
it like
general-
a hashtag solidarity kind of thing, or are they like kind of pissed at the tunes because that's part of the reason why they're struggling with their strike?
The express opinion of the party is solidarity with Toon actors. There are Toons among the picketing humans.
Okay.
But there is the unfortunate truth that there are many Toons more desperate for work now that their shows are canceled. And it's cheaper to pay a Toon, unfortunately, in Bivdale at present. And there are more Toons often than not crossing the picket line. So there is that animosity, even though it is an action of solidarity taking place. But no one is particularly calling any of you four out. But the mood here is straight up dicey. It's not a powder keg here, but it is not pleasant. And it is in front of the studios, always very quiet, free of foot traffic. And there's actually behind the gate, there's actually a tour that people pay quite a bit of money to tour the studio. Of course, it's the largest market in Bivdale, other than animation. But here we are.
You know, no one invites me to these things anymore. Just kind of like looking out on this, kind of, you know, smiling a little humorlessly at it.
I never get invited because they don't know where to send the invitation. I don't have a mailing address.
Just kind of like looks down. It's like, I mean, assumedly you live with your parents, don't you?
I'm like 37.
You know, in this day and age, it's okay to be living with your parents when you're that old. Inflation and all that.
By concept of our reality as it exists, you are aware, right, that we don't necessarily have parents, right? We have creators.
What are creators if not parents?
Well, if we don't have parents, who's the woman who's been sending letters to me every month telling me to stop smoking?
Long story short, I don't live with my parents. But I definitely don't have a mailing address, and I will never admit to having a mailing address, and you will never find out what it is, even if I did.
One of the guerrilla guards wearing not even a security guard outfit, wearing like a bellhop uniform. With he's got like a mullet thing going on. Like there might have been some experimentation happening in this person's life prior to taking this job as guerrilla security, which is a small corporation in Bivdale, Guerrilla Security. They specifically hire large tunes.
Hi, Leo. Did you get kicked out of the band already?
Yeah, has a big name tag that says Leo, wearing the bellhop uniform because they don't have anything big enough for him yet. And he goes, Cyril, yeah, it wasn't working out. I tried to play the bass and we started getting booed over at that punk show and I saw red, frankly.
Oh, Leo. You have to be careful. The human kids, they're soft. You gotta...
They sure are. They sure are.
Just kind of... just sort of like curls his lip at it. So, how long has this been going on?
Well, I actually started the other day, so... Couple of...
Sure. Well, anyway, me and my friends, we were over at that key party a couple of days back over with Ernest Borgnine and the rest of them. Can you just let us on?
Why don't you just make me a quick sly?
Let's see. That is a 6 and a 2, plus 2 is a 10.
All right. Yeah, Leo looks at you. Sure. Well, where's the guest list real quick, Otto? And Otto, the other gorilla, who's like wearing a security person's outfit, pulls out the guest list for the tour today and the expected appointments with Mr. Stone, who you all know, the CEO and owner of Vision Animations, Mr. Ignatius Beaumont Stone. Talks like that.
Right.
Otto starts flipping through it, and then Leo just sort of looks at you, Cyril, and goes, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, just all color drains out of Cyril's face. Yeah. Yeah.
And the reason the color is out of his face is because Kip is behind the writing our names in.
Yes, exactly.
Behind the gorilla.
Yep. Otto takes your names. Like, all right, perfect. Thanks for the mailing address, Mr. Hopperman.
Yeah,
you live here.
Yeah, I live down in Studio 66.
Oh.
And 63. And 37. And 19. It really depends on the day.
And 4 that one time.
And 4 that one time. That was horrible. That's the moon set. Oh. The pillow as of a moon rock, is terrible. They put dust on it right in my nose.
You're being ushered through the gate. You see some of the human actors outside the gate go, typical.
Honey, I've been here longer than you. Just like ashes a little bit in their coffee, tosses it and like puts the cigarette in another person's pocket for your troubles, dear.
Huh. Whoa. That's good. Just for me, that's going to get you a laugh for sure. We're treating laughs not only as rerolls but story points. You can actually burn them to declare something.
And because of my move,
Hmm.
I anytime that I get a laugh, if anyone has less laughs than me, they can steal them.
Oh,
So if anyone would like the laugh, it is up for grabs.
good.
That was too good of a laugh not to leave it with you.
So at any point, anyone can say that they've stolen Cyril's laugh. But
Oh
Cyril,
yeah, like
yeah,
yeah, you don't even have to do it now.
yeah.
But
Cyril is a force multiplier playbook. Yeah. All right, shown into vision animations, you are here. There are teams of little cartoons going around to the various studios. You see human grips taking technology and other equipment. You see the set from one of the Roman cartoons that's being played. Um, Why So Serious, Caesar? That's being carted down to Studio 4. They're filming the lunar episode where he invades the moon. And you see the little cartoon Julius Caesar, who's actually on a palanquin being bore by humans towards Studio 4.
is the gout acting up, Julie?
Don't you know it? I just don't stop eating liver.
Well, it's I suppose as long as you have your health.
I'll always have my health. I'm immortal.
Right, right. Oh, what month is it, Julie?
Marge.
Okay. Have a good rest of it, dear.
Here's to you. Drink something that is not time appropriate for the day.
Just kind of sighs.
Mm. Yeah, a gaggle of little cartoon goblins walks by.
He's a good fella, but he has no sense of narrative irony.
Yeah. Gotta write down Why So Serious, Caesar. I'm proud of that one.
I think as we are walking through the hallways, I would like to, like I'm low to the ground. I don't get noticed super easily, right? I think anytime, and I'm not gonna do it to like any of the actors or the tunes or whatever, but like anytime I see like someone in a suit, like an executive person walk by, I just want to do like a really quick little passive like pickpocket attempt.
Hmm. I'm curious.
If I may.
Do you have a playbook thing that's appropriate to this or no? Just out of
It just
curiosity.
says under the general like cool move, it says you might
Right.
also be asked to make this cool move if what you're doing isn't cool, picking pockets, cutting brake lines,
Yeah, this
etc.
is definitely a roll. For
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. What is my cool stat? That's a really good question. Oh,
Be a
it's
plus
great.
2.
It's wonderful.
That dang Sky Howard picking pockets, man. I'm tired
So
of
that is a
Yep.
10.
it. Get out of town. Go away. You do the thing and even look good. Actually, yes. A trio, two humans, one man, one woman, and a cartoon donkey are walking by. Each of them in suits. Not an anthropomorphic donkey, just a donkey in a suit. You recognize him as Numsy the donkey, famous for the Numsy the donkey pictures back when things weren't in color. Numsy the donkey's still black and white. The trio of them walks by. You don't recognize any of them. Clearly important. Has like a series of camp followers behind them. Like meeting at 3, meeting at 4. There's coffee here ready for you now. And, like things like that. And somebody walks up. Mr. Mercury, sorry, we have these briefs ready for the discussion at 12. It's like about to be 12, and they like clearly hurrying off in a direction toward like management over on the other side of the studio grounds. And out of the three of them, whose pocket do you go for? There's a
Um,
man identified as Mr. Mercury, Numsy the donkey, and a woman you don't recognize.
Definitely Mr. Mercury.
Okay, I'm going for coat pocket pants.
I'll go coat pocket. It's usually a little looser.
Sure. All right. How do you look good while doing it?
I I think part of the pickpocketing is that I don't get noticed while I'm doing it. But like, so I'm walking through the hallways. I got my hands shoved in my little froggy pockets, and I've got my hood up, right? So if you like looking from afar, you would just see like a tall frog, wandering about, a tall cartoon frog wandering about. And I just kind of like casually look up with that like innocent childlike wonder. And I look up and I pass by, and I reach in and just like pluck it out. Like the very comical kind of Bugs Bunny, like nobody would see it happen except the viewer, like very obnoxiously like opening up the jacket, reaching in to the inner pocket, pulling it out, and then like patting it closed again.
Of course, like
to the
three,
camera and winking a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah, like the three of you see this happen.
Right. And I'm hoping I can grab something like kind of useful for the case, maybe like his like PDA or a pager or something
Actually,
that would have like information.
just roll a quick d6 for me.
Just one
Yay,
d6.
fortune roll.
That's a 2.
Okay. What I will say, you pull a money clip. You had it on the interior coat, $150 in a money
Yeah.
clip. Smackaroos. And you got a 2?
Yeah.
There is a small commemorative coin that you also pulled. That's actually like tucked in the back of the money clip under some bucks. There's a small commemorative coin that you don't get a good look at in this moment.
Okay. All right. Take a look at
But
that
yeah,
later.
you continue to hurry on. Where in particular are we going?
Cyril's first Cyril's first instinct would be to head over to Ink and Paint and see if
For sure.
if there's anyone that can be gossiped with / inventories and manifests that can be checked to see if someone's on the take. That whiteout had to come from somewhere.
For sure. People see you here with Hopperman and do not obstruct you in any way.
Mhm.
Clearly you're on a job.
Yeah, I think it's I don't think that most folks know Cyril as like as a working stiff actor anymore. Anytime that he's on the lot, it's like for a guest spot or it's for like an interview kind of a thing. He doesn't really do tunes really anymore. And yeah, he's kind of swanning around a little bit. He's mostly just talking to like other actors, other tunes, just being as conspicuous as possible for the sake of like providing cover for the others.
Yeah. So eventually you do make your way over to Ink and Paint. You see quite a few backgrounds are being worked on by human painters. There's the Painters League in Bivdale, of course. The cartoonist's workshop is very close to management. There's actually like a sky bridge in between their office and management. But you're in Ink and Paint mostly for backgrounds, but this is definitely where materials are stored. And you are presently here. It's at this moment like standing in front of this basically like airport sized animation studio, like incredibly wealthy. The amount of excess here is, I want to stress that on you. There are too many people working for Vision Animations. And clearly they have more money than God.
Back whenever I started out, they used the inside of a whiskey barrel as the sound stage.
True. At this moment, a sort of foreman-looking type, like a real, he looks like Butterbean, the boxer, but like wearing like just paint overalls, walks over to the four of you, brushes past Cyril. You are much taller than he is. He is as wide and burly as you are tall. And this human man gets in front of Hopperman and goes, thank goodness you're here, because we really are having a hard time getting up into those rafters.
What do you mean?
Well, you know those goblins that's supposed to be filming over on 26th?
Uh-huh.
They got out. They stole all the paint for Why So Serious Caesar. The background for the moon. They're up in the rafters. They drop a paint on people. It's ridiculous. It's everywhere.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I understand used to be Monster Wrangler.
Yeah.
Figure you could help me out?
With what?
Uh, can you get the goblins out of the rafters for me, Hopperman?
Oh, yeah, I can do that. I used to be a monster wrangler.
He just has a coughing fit out of stress. He begins to walk away from you. Someone immediately assails his attention for something else. There's like I said, dozens of people cleaning, working, painting. But yes, intermittently there are globs of paint being deposited on people's heads from
Okay. And
somewhere inside.
And this is on Studio 26, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. I just immediately start walking off. And just like start pulling out like just like a big net out of my pouch, and like everywhere as I'm walking away, all you see is my back. Like I take out a big net, like I like one of those like animal control hooks, right? And
Pool
like
skimmer.
I just put on this like giant like hunter hat, and I just have this like nude like walk like to me.
Just kind of the Elmer Fudd style tiptoe.
Yep, just like. And as I just kind of just walk away towards Studio 26.
All right. So you're walking off toward 26. The goblins are throwing paint at people. But the rest of you still here. Does anyone obstruct Hopperman, or that's happening?
No,
I guess I'll
I
follow.
feel like we may as well let him do his thing.
I'll follow.
You said you're
Yeah,
gonna
let him
follow
do
this
his
guy?
job.
Yeah, I'll go with. So we have like a half and half party situation going on.
Sure thing. So we'll stay with ink and paint for right now. Cyril and Sally, there are, as I said, quite a few people here. As far as where things are kept, Kip may know, but I'm sure the two of you working together, will probably be able to find a manifest, or at least where the whiteout is. It's not a pleasant smell, so it is possible to track it down via that means as well. But what do the two of you do while the party splits?
Yeah, I think we kind of have two possible options here. We could either like find the person who's in charge of inventory for the building and ask if someone has requested a large amount of like whiteout recently, or we could try to see if we can like assumedly it's a big studio. This stuff is expensive. There's probably cameras, like around to make sure that people aren't, dipping their pens in the company ink, as it were.
I mean, I'm pretty familiar with the security guys here, so maybe we go talk to them.
That sounds good. Yeah.
All right. Not guerrilla security. These are human security guards. Just sort of not milling about like everyone else. There's a couple posted up on rafters watching the work. There is a more mid-40s looking gentleman, kind of rail thin. Everyone around here kind of seems to have the same cough going on, like that's being passed around in ink and paint. But this fella just sort of reading a clipboard and kind of directing traffic. You sort of pick him out. And I will say, Sally, you know this gentleman. Not really interacted much beyond being directed, but this is Darnell Gaines.
So Sally's gonna walk up to Darnell. Hey, Darnell, how's it going? You looking.
Miss Sable, always a pleasure.
Yeah, my buddy here and I have a couple of questions for you.
Hi, dear.
Hey there, young fella. Am I really the person you should be asking? I suppose you wouldn't mind probably if if Kip's around, he'll probably direct you where you need to be going.
Kip's a little bit busy right now, and
Mhm.
we have a bit of a sensitive thing to ask for.
Oh.
You know, one of my friends over at the studio was mentioning that, well, you know, this old hand, but he's a bit suspicious that one of his boys is taking company property and doesn't want to bring it up with management. What with everything that's been happening, we're just kind of wanting to have a look at things on the down low. We don't want to get anyone in trouble if they don't need to be.
Well, you wouldn't you wouldn't be here with the union, would you?
Me? Oh, do I look like I'm still acting?
No, I suppose not. What's funny? Well, like he starts to mutter. This is gonna take some sort of sly.
All right. What would this look like with Cyril, though? I mean, I think it's kind of you know, the standard thing that we've kind of established with him. He's just gonna kind of, you know, rattle off names, sort of you know, surreptitiously humble
Right,
bragging
yeah.
about the parties he still gets invited to, and mentioning you know, it's like, and I really need to take care of this quickly, you know. You know, a couple of the friends that I have are on the board now, and they don't want to get involved in any of this. And the publicity is, you know, it isn't going so well for the studio right now. They're really wanting to keep out of the public eye, and yeah, and it's just like heaping onto this like poor workaday stiff, like do this now, don't question
Yeah.
it. This is your job, you
Definitely
moron.
a treatment that he's used to for sure. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Why don't you give me that roll real quick?
All right, that's plus sly, right?
Sure is.
That is a 3 and a 4 plus 2. That's 9.
Okay. Your target will go along, but only if you offer something more. What is it that you offer to Mr. Darnell Gaines? So that he'll let you in the back in the cage where all the stuff is kept.
Just, I think, just kind of subtly, you know, like mentions that, and you know, this entire thing is going on right before this shoot's going to be happening out in the desert outside of town, and they're going to be needing extra security, and they're going to be having to pay them double wages because it's outside of the 30-mile zone, and you know, they've been absolute. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, that's one of my crochet hooks. And and it's just like is intimating that a favor to get like a union job off of, you know, away from the 30-mile zone, which means that they're going to have to be paid like a per diem and a travel fee and double wage, is on the table if he helps.
Well, that's a real shine in the eye. I tell you what, I have to go to the restroom, but those keys there need to be watched at all times. You understand, Miss Sable and your friend here. So if somebody could watch those for me while I'm in the restroom,
Yeah, sure. I've been to
appreciate it.
Ernest Borgnine's house. I know what to do here.
Chip just sort of ambles away. And before we get into the back room, we cut Sky. You are presently taking cover underneath an overturned garbage can in Studio 26. Kip has gone to ground. You don't know where he is. It is a madhouse in here. There are goblins everywhere, and they have paint, and they are not afraid to use it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What sort of? We cut to you. What could possibly be happening? What is the look that goes over Sky's face as you are in this particular situation?
It's definitely irritated. Definitely like I did not realize what I was signing up for. And like as paint continually like pelts the outside of the garbage can I'm hiding under, and it like shakes, and I just kind of like wince every single time. I'm just like, all right, and I reach into my little froggy pocket and I pull out like a full-sized tennis racket. Like not Sky size, a regular full-size tennis racket, and I'm ready to like push the garbage can off and start like swinging at the little paint throwers.
Mr. Hopperman, where are you? What are you doing?
I am like Spider-Maning, swinging through all the raptors after all these goblins. Like I have like Rambo'd up my face.
Yes.
With this
With the paint.
Like I am spattered in all of my clothes, but I've taken that paint. It's like it's just like, right, and I'm like taking the ropes and all the raptors and just like Splatoon, like gathered some kind of gun. I'm just like back at them, like hitting each goblin, and they're all just like falling onto the ground.
The goblins are playing along. They play by rules, and if they get hit, they're down. They're out, and they go into your net.
But there is one
Right.
that is one. It's just it's my nemesis,
Yeah.
and I would like to roll a grudge roll against this one.
Yeah, I
Just having
think
the hardest problem.
this goblin has stepped out of line. What is that?
And has
What
put
is
on a red bandana
Playing
and has
dirty.
gotten onto a motorcycle.
It's like Predator versus Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's about to get bad in here.
Yeah. So that would be a 5.
Are you using slapstick or were you rolling plus tough?
That is a. Actually, sorry. I apologize. The grudge is a plus the zany.
Yes.
So
This definitely sounds zany.
so that would be a 7. I
Okay.
just made it.
Very different.
Yeah. So with my zany, the attacker misses me. So my next move, if I take a naivete, would be a +1. So, yeah. So we're just like, it is now. We're both just like on the I beam, right? The main
Right.
one across the entire thing, and it's just like we're just eyes locked.
There
We're both
is
out
a
of weaponry.
there is a nude little goblin on this I-beam who just has like an infinite amount of water balloons filled with paint, and you with your strange paint Gatling gun. Sky, you pop out from under the the trash can on the ground, some 40 feet away from this situation. There are other goblins assaulting people, but you see this taking place upstairs. You can participate in the grudge if you'd like, or you can do something else. There are other goblins, but this is almost wrapped up. To his credit, Hopperman is crazy good at his jobs.
So I think I'm gonna trust Kip, right? Kip clearly has something handled. Maybe not this, but something handled. But I am gonna help out a little bit from the ground. All of the little goblins that pass by me that I can manage to land a hit on, I'm gonna try to aim them up at the one that Kip's fighting on the I-beam to see if I can like knock it off.
Okay, do you want to use your grudge move, or that sounds zany to me.
That sounds pretty zany. I don't actually remember what my grudge move is.
It's cringing. You tend not to fight.
Yeah, there we go. All right, yeah, we'll just roll zany. We'll just roll zany.
Yeah, let's see what's.
So that is a -1 for me.
Not
that's an
suited to acting like a cartoon. You still came out. All right. Comedy is when something bad happens to somebody else, and you're the somebody else this time. I will choose one
For an 8?
For an 8, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Worst outcome, hard bargain, or dramatic tension. I usually have the power here, but what do you want from those words?
I think worst outcome is going to be the absolute best thing that could happen right now.
Okay. So that is not worst outcome, worse outcome.
Worst
you
outcome.
do your
Okay.
You do your thing, but something else bad happened.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still going to go
All
with that one.
I'm going to tuck that away for later.
Okay.
But Mr. Hopperman, you're up there in your berserker fugue state, facing off against this naked goblin covered in paint, who's dueling you on this I-beam. And you look down, and Sky Howard, never seen them act like this, with a tennis racket, just bopping goblins up into the air into your net and at the other goblin. You're gonna take +1 forward for whatever you decide to do here, whether or not be naivety or something else. It's still presently a grudge. This is your worst enemy that you've ever had, that you remember.
Okay. So I think I'm just gonna roll just a straight tough move. Just gonna try to knock this goblin down. Just off the rafter with my final, because I only have a couple of shots left in this thing. I just kind of fashioned it real quick, and I'm just gonna be like, you, and it's just coming after me, I think, and just roll it with my tough, which I think is just a 0. No, it's a 1. All right, that would be a 10. Yep. So I give in.
Oh.
Let's see. Give in to your demands. Start a fight. You strike first with a +2 forward. So I think it gives in to my demands. Yeah. I think I just I line up a shot, just like, and it just right in the forehead.
Yep. And like Gollum falling into the lava into your net.
Yep. And I just walk to the middle of the I-beam and just go, I guess he had too many strokes.
What?
If I could just take it over to the security cameras.
Yes.
and
you're
and,
seeing this happen.
Yeah, I mean, we hear the line in there, and I look over to Sally and I go,
You are
like paint strokes. You get it? Yeah, like paint stroke.
Looking at the camera, knowing somehow that Cyril's on the other side.
Yeah, no, Cyril's just like, no, I got it, dear. We'll work that. We'll workshop that one with the boys in the writers' room.
Oh, how do I get down?
The two of you are now in the security booth in ink and paint. You're looking. The security camera is also here operable. Darnell Gaines 100% should not have let you in here. You have the studio more or less at your fingertips. You can actually open the gate from here, probably.
Sarah, we might be. Sally, we might actually be able to get you onto a set here. I'm sorry, that was a little mean.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. However, before we exit out of here, I do wanna, and she starts rummaging in her little bag. She's like, just give me one second, and she pulls out her headshot and her resume, and she just sort of puts it on the desk. She's like, I'm just gonna leave this here, because you never know who comes through here.
And as she places down the resume and headshot, the two of you realize that there's a manifest actually up on a clipboard. It says the month of March from February 12th to mid-March. Mm-hmm. And it looks like it's signed out by who's ever operating the booth. But there's a manifest here at least.
Well, let's have a look to see if that delivery over to Wint was legitimate or not. Just goes through the inventory and sees if a large amount of whiteout was explicitly marked to be checked out of the warehouse, like for out of warehouse use.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll. There was a disturbing amount of whiteout that was actually earmarked for Why So Serious Caesar.
I take a look at the calendar. What day in March is this?
This is actually March 15th.
Hey, Sally, by any chance, did you ever finish college?
No.
Oh,
why do you ask?
Oh, just wondering if you ever took English Lit at all. I think we need to get over to the set for Why So Serious, Caesar. Like now.
Okay. She takes off.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cyril. God. Yes. Cyril. Just. Like just kind of like starts hoofing it. I think he actually like picks up Sally and just like starts putting her on his shoulder and then just kind of like drapes her around his neck and just like books it out.
And running past Studio 26, Sky having gotten one of those enormous cartoon ladders that is just as long as you need it to be, you help Hopperman get down, and the two of you see Cyril and Sally booking it to Studio 4.
So I imagine we just kind of like look at each other, and then we both also take off. But since Sky is so small, I imagine they also end up getting carried.
Yeah, I do almost like the idea that it's one of those things where it's like we run past and we see Sky holding the ladder. Cyril like runs past and Sky's not next to the ladder, and then we like cut to like Cyril kind of confusedly holding up a frog, just kind of like.
Yes.
Are we 3 cartoons in a trench coat with Cyril?
Yes.
Yeah, actually.
you actually are.
Huh.
Cyril, you're so strong.
It comes from having to carry this episode the entire time.
Ooh, that's a laugh. That's a laugh and a burn for me. I'm gonna take a real life lump.
Oh
no. So again, anyone can take laughs from me if they want to.
Yeah, and laughs are story points.
Yeah, it can be very useful.
We rush over to Studio 4, Cyril making the animator of the show laugh. And you stop there, and it says filming in progress. There's a red light on. Doors are closed.
No, we're not supposed to go in. They're filming in progress. I've been yelled at before by going inside.
Yeah, that's great. So, Kip, remember how you used to be a locksmith for a couple of months?
Yeah.
Okay, I need you to open it up right now.
Open what?
The door, using the skills that you had from whenever you were stinting as a locksmith for 2 months.
Oh. No, we're not supposed to go inside. They're filming in progress.
No, it's fine. I got invited to over there by Caesar. We were talking whenever we came in, remember?
No, I don't, but okay. Hold on 1 second.
You can do Jack of all trades or something else.
Yeah, that's what. Yep, and I'll do that because that's the thing is like I was a locksmith for a long time, but it was for a crew of people who were robbing banks. But like they would always feed me, so therefore, you know.
And of course, Cyril did not know this at all. Just kind of made the assumption.
That would be rolling with tough, which is only a 1, and that would still fail me with a 6.
Okay. I'm going to use.
So with a 6, it completely fails, but essentially, let's see. Oh no, that's my.
I can complicate it, or if you
my
have a suggestion.
No, sorry. Mm-hmm. That's my naivete. Sorry, naivete is the one that blurts out some embarrassing thing about flat out confess to your past crimes. Never mind. Okay, but yes, that's what exactly. And as I'm sitting there and I'm just like trying to lock back. Yeah, I learned all these skills when I was running with that crew, stealing jewelry and diamonds and everything. It was fantastic. I loved it. But here's the thing: I never ended up actually learning how to do it, and I could never break in, and we just kept getting caught.
I'm going to as I'm seeing, you know, like Kip just absolutely like not using any of the tools properly, and you know, like time ticking away, and like bullets literally sweating off of like Cyril, like literal physical bullets are falling, you know, like around him as you know, he sweats them. I'm going to use my unique move, Wisecrack.
Yeah.
So I can make a clever remark and roll plus sly, and I'll do that first, and then I'll see if I get to do what I think I want to do here. Okay, so that is a 6 plus 2, which is 8.
Okay.
So I can choose one from the 10 plus list, but the director also adds a complication. After a fellow player fails to do something, tell them what they did wrong. If they do the task again, they automatically succeed. Um, and yeah, like Sarah looks through and says, "Kip, dear, if I could make one quick suggestion for you."
Yeah.
You see the little label next to your little like roll of tools that says Universal Studio Door Key 3A.
Uh-huh.
Why don't you just slot that into the keyhole and turn it?
Well, that wouldn't be locksmithing. That'd just be unlocking it.
And
Gotta be
yet there it
specific.
is.
You gotta be specific.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
And as you
Is that all I had to do to steal the stuff?
Yep.
You know what, Kip? I have a very good psychotherapist that I'm going to recommend you to after
You
all
know,
of
I used
this.
to, as he's walking inside, I used to be a psychotherapist. I was
course you
really,
were,
really
dear.
good at it because I was a great listener.
Uh-huh.
And then
Uh-huh.
Hopperman, as you walk into Studio 4, you walk in at the exact moment when the moon set with Julius Caesar defeating the Amazonian Martians on this episode of Why So Serious Caesar
Geez, they show this to kids these days?
is no shit drenched in whiteout.
Oh.
And I just suddenly stopped. Oh.
And there's a not insignificant wave coming for the party. And that's all for this episode of A Tune to Die For.
Ah,
Oh, Mr. Blood, you did it again.
I've been Michael Blood. You can find me on Twitter at GoodSirBlood if you're so inclined, but I'd much prefer if you followed our wonderful host, TTRPG, on Twitter and subscribed to the Twitch page and watched all of the amazing content that everyone is producing. Thank you very much to Kells, our wonderful tech person. Thank you so much. Thank you for playing. And thank you to Nikki for helping greenlight the show. And thank you to everyone for playing. In no particular order, I've been joined by my 4 new friends. Kiki, thank you so much.
Hi.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm Kiki and Grishka. I've had an absolutely amazing time today. If folks want to follow me, I go by Scotch Game Comms on Twitter, and I'm actually gearing up to do a bit of an independent project, I guess, in open defiance of sort of like large data-driven imagery technology. I am declaring that I'm going to learn to draw. Through the sort of the Lenten season, but not really attached to Lent. It's just a nice way to do something for 40 days. And I'm going to be posting up my progress. And if folks want to follow along with me, I'm also going to be posting up the like a lesson schedule that I'm going to be using.
Awesome.
So if anyone else wants to declare a Butlerian jihad against the current wave of schmucks trying to use industrial automation to make the world a little bit worse, you can join me there.
All righty. And of course, thank you so much to Morshadi.
Hi, I'm Warshadi, and you can find me on Twitter, causing mayhem and all out hell on Twitter. I don't really cause anything. I don't ever post anything other than our amazing hosts at TTRPG, at more_shoddy and more shoddy everywhere else on the internet. Don't really do anything else other than that, so I'm going to toss it back to Mike.
And of course, thank you so much, Annie, for playing along.
thanks. Yeah, I'm Amy Oakley. On all social media, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you're more than welcome. I am also a dancer and a cosplayer, and I decided to fuse those two things together. So on my coffee page, I do cosplay dance covers. And I had to take a brief hiatus, but I am getting back to that, so I will hopefully be putting out some more videos starting at the end of February. If that sounds interesting to you, I would appreciate a follow. That's it.
All right. And last but not least, thank you to Kelsey.
Hello, hi, I'm Kelsey. I am the communications director for this wonderful channel you see us on here, TTRPG. I help manage our consent forms and our cast forms and, make sure everybody knows what they need to know when they need to know it. And I have been Sky Howard today. You can find me on the internet on Twitter as @crochet_bby. I am a fiber artist and administrator and general all-around gremlin on the internet. I will tell you to crunch your dice. I will tell you to cause chaos. And you can also find me doing lots of random, I think, funny shit on TikTok, too. And you can find that through the link in my Twitter bio. News from TTRPG. We are, in a couple weeks, on Valentine's Day, we are running a charity stream. And there will be more details posted about that on our Twitter page. So please go and check that out. It's going to be really fun. And GM, unless you have any more notes, I think that is all for today.
That's going to be all for today. We'll be back for the second episode, title pending, Assaulting Studio 4. Will we be able to save Julius Caesar and the cast of Why So Serious Caesar?
I mean, it's not like it can get any worse, can it?
Don't. You can't say that. It's actually a magic spell. It's a curse, and you have just inflicted it upon us.
Annie, I love the fact that you're also a crunch crew.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We will see you again next week.
Peace.